Good evening, dear viewers. Welcome to our special edition of Open Mic. For this evening, we have Madam Therese Poirier, UNAIDS country representative in Eritrea. She is ending her term and leaving soon. So this is basically on her experiences and her stay in Eritrea. Thank you for being with us today, Madam. Let's start by introducing yourself to our audience, your personal background and professional background.
First of all, thank you for having me. It is an honor that I don't take for granted. My name is Therese Poirier. I am a Rwandese Canadian, a mother of 2 children. I have over 30 years of progressive leadership experience in international development. I have started my journey working with grassroots community development in my native Rwanda. Later on, I moved and worked in many countries in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and North America, Canada. Before joining UNAIDS, I was working as a diplomat for Canadian government, working with regional and Pan-African institutions. And a decade ago, I moved to UNAIDS, where I have been a representative for Mali, Malawi, and then now Eritrea.
So you've been here for 3 years now, and you are at the end of your term. How would you describe your time here in Eritrea?
What to say? What should to say about Eritrea? It has been an incredible journey, and I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity I have had to work in this beautiful country. I have made lifelong connection with local people and international community that I will always cherished. Here, I have learned so much about this country. Eritrea is making its own progress at its own path. And it's something that you need to experience Eritrea. You can't learn it by outside. You need to be here to see that, how the country is. Eritrea is on track to meet many SDGs, especially the one which is really interesting me, which is SDG 3. I have been tremendous achievement. You don't make noise, but they are tremendous work. I am impressed by the level of commitment of people I have been working with, civil society, and honestly, overall, I can say that I can describe my time here as an invaluable learning curve. And I will really miss this. The exposure allowed me to experience firsthand how a country with a vision can move. And I'm really grateful for this experience.
You, as a UNAIDS representative in Eritrea, what are your observations on the case of AIDS and Ministry of Health's efforts in UNAIDS involvement?
Thank you for this question, because one of the things I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, I would really to commend Eritrea for the partnership I have with the Ministry of Health. They have made tremendous, outstanding progress, especially in the health sector. If I see the strong leadership skills with all involved in HIV response, it's really impressive. And somehow it contributes to make my job easier and fascinating. One of the things I really appreciated is how people work together. The way in UNAIDS work with other UN agencies, WHO, UNICEF, UNFPA, to coordinate the response. The same, the Ministry of Health work with other ministries to ensure that the response is very focused and well coordinated. That's how I have a chance to work with people from Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Information, National Union of Eritrean Women, National Union of Youth Association, Confederation of Eritrean Workers. So all of them are involved, and I really appreciate the dedication of the team, that which led to this tremendous result we are seeing now.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of the tremendous results that we're seeing now, if I were to ask you the details of the path Eritrea is taking to combat HIV/AIDS infections.
Yeah, currently Eritrea honestly is on the good trend. If you see, for example, in 2003, you know, the prevalence was at 4.34 actually. Now we are almost at 0.5. This is a huge achievement. You don't make noise, but this is a very huge achievement. And this is because it is a multi-sectorial approach. All those people I was talking about who are involved, that's which make things happen. There is a lot of sites, for example, 284 sites dedicated to HIV testing services. And all the departments are working together to ensure that everyone is can be tested, straightforward, equal access to services. People living with HIV are involved in the planning and implementation of services, and that is something which is very commendable. Even Global Fund, that is one of the things he's appraised Eritrea for, this kind of working together and coordinate the response.
Thank you, Madam Therese. So my fourth question is going to be on the lighter side. So have you had any chance to travel outside of Asmara?
I wish I could travel more. Unfortunately, I arrived during the pandemic time, so I couldn't manage to travel all over the country. It was so unfortunate that I arrived during the COVID time with some, restriction. But however, I managed to visit some Zobas, and it was really interesting to see how the beauty of this country, the serenity of the countryside. I remember when I was going to Massawa for global CCM oversight meetings, I realized that how Massawa somehow going through those mountains, it reminded me my native Rwanda. So I really enjoyed. And I always like to go to the health facility and have first-hand experience, discuss of communities. And one of the things I really enjoyed that would be my takeaway, this experience of community working with health facility to build those, what we call the waiting room shelter for women who lives in hard-to-reach area. So they can come a little before when the time is to deliver is already there, and they can stay at health facilities so they can get follow-up. This is really a good example that actually Eritrea, which can be emulated in somewhere else. So I really enjoy to visit the countryside, to see the landscape is so magnificent, it's marvelous.
How do you assess the prevalence of HIV testing centers, the usage on the rural areas which you have traveled to?
It is interesting. Actually, it is something very interesting because the HIV is integrated in different services. So, for example, a woman pregnant, she'll be attending this is what we call antenatal clinic. When they came, they are tested, and they can be tested on different sickness, but they will be checking also, they will be being tested at HIV. And currently, I can say that 95% of women are attending INCs, which is something very good. Well, of course, I need to put in of course, we are still having some women who don't don't deliver at hospital. So it's something that we need to keep working on to ensure that all of them, they are coming to the delivery at the health services.
Okay. This question is almost a follow-up to that. Mm-hmm. So if I asked you to paint a verbal picture of Eritrea, how would it look like both on the professional or on every aspect?
Thank you for this question. Actually, honestly, the country will leave a lasting impact on me. You know, there is this saying that the taste of the pudding is in eating. Should I speak about how the warmth of Eritrean people, you know, kindness come naturally to the Eritrean. Walking around my neighborhood, even in early hours, but I feel safe. And this is something really good. You can't do that in some countries, you know. Even in Canada, there are parts that you can't go and feel safe. So honestly, during my stay in Eritrea, I found that the people are cordial, very cordial, welcoming. I met several friends, and at all levels. So, and in addition to that, I have some privilege to be invited at Eritreans' home for meals, and of course, the coffee ceremony. Even if I struggle with the first 1 hour, and I prefer the third one, the barak one. But this is something really I found that the work environment in Eritrea is very friendly, and I really appreciate the interaction that I had with the people in Eritrea as a whole. I really benefit from my stay because not only of those friendships I created, but also to see people committed to achieve on something, and that is something really which is I will take away with me.
You've been explaining Eritrea and your working environment. Mm-hmm. So how does it feel to depart this kind of environment, this kind of working environment, living environment?
As I said earlier, you know, during my career for more than 35 years, you know, I have traversed various planning for continent. And in some countries I stay longer than others. But one of the things I really want to say, it's never easy to prepare for this inevitable day that you have to say your goodbyes. Last week, I was having a workshop with health workers and women living with HIV as we prepare for this country to elimination. And at the end of the meeting, you know, I was hugging those women. We were all of us crying. It was really heartbreaking. And I know that it will be tough to leave this country. I will definitely miss my asmarinos. And I will keep with me the friendship I raised here, and I know that it will stay forever.
We all wish you good luck on that. So if you have any message to concerned bodies, to expats, or if you have any final remarks, this is your chance to say your goodbyes to Eritrea on TV.
Thank you. My key message will be to my partner is ready to say, continue building resilient and sustainable system for health, and strengthen your pandemic preparedness so that Eritrea stay healthy. You did well during COVID time, you can keep doing well. I will also say, keep raising awareness and eliminate the culture of shame within HIV, which sometimes fuels stigma and self-stigma, and that can hinder the response. So if we can keep, and that's how you media can really help us to keep this, to raise this awareness. And other thing I can say, continue push forward and really gain more ground in the fight of HIV, maintain the tremendous gain we have made, and gain more ground in the fight against HIV, maintain the tremendous success we have made. HIV prevalence trend among clients coming for HIV testing services have declined, you know, from, as I said, from 4.34 till now 0.6 in 2021. So there are a lot of hope for Eritrea, and my really most wish is to see in the coming year, the coming year or maximum 2 years, Eritrea can become the first country in Africa to get the full recognition. Botswana have got the bronze, but Eritrea can go straight. It doesn't not go to bronze, gold, and my most wish is to see Eritrea becoming in next years the first country in Africa to get the international recognition of the elimination of mother to child. As I said, Botswana got last year the bronze, but Eritrea, given the lower prevalence, we can go straight to full recognition. So that is really something I really wish, and I hope that it will continue, and so that in some years I can hear that Eritrea is a free AIDS, an AIDS-free Eritrea. It's something at reach.
We're all looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Madam Therese Poirier. Dear viewers, this wraps up our special edition of Open Mic. Have a good evening.